2-4 मिनट केवल वेट कर, देख लो कि ठीक आ रहा है, किसी ने 2 मिनट को लेकर इंटरप्शन नहीं आया ना, बस उधर एकदम। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री परमात्मने नमः। Namaste to all my spiritual friends and divine selves. The most fundamental question in the life of every human being is existential. As to who am I? What is my true nature? At prima facie, it appears that it's a settled issue, because through millions of years of collective consciousness, we have identified ourselves as body, mind, intellect. So this body with a particular name and its all affiliations with the world do define our identity. We believe that I am this person with this particular name and was born to these parents in this particular place of a particular country at a particular point of time, and I would grow older and die at some point of time after the old age. But spiritual systems of the world, especially the Vedanta philosophy, will tell you that you have two identities. One identity of yours is an ephemeral, momentary, mortal identity, which is a conditioned and finite identity. That identity most of us associate with. We think ourselves as body, mind, intellect, the senses. That's me. But this finite, conditioned, momentary and mortal identity of mine is a false identity, an illusory identity, and this identity is always vulnerable to many sorrows, sufferings, troubles, traumas. It was born at particular point of time, it will die at particular point of time. But is there something beyond this and behind this body identity? Vedanta philosophy tell you Vedanta philosophy tells you that This is your false identity. Body identity is an ego and mind-based false identity of ours. And as long as we continue to identify ourselves as body, there is no possibility of cessation of sorrows and sufferings. Because the body, mind, intellect are subject to and conditioned by various limitations. They are subject to birth, growth, mutation, and death. So, is it our fate accompli? Is it our ultimate destiny to be born, live for some time, and die after some time, and that's end of the life? No. The sages and seers of ancient India went deeper into the question of their identity to explore as to who am I? Am I this body? Am I this mind? Am I senses? If this is my true reality, then it's pathetic. There is no end of sufferings and sorrows. But there are deeper investigations about the true nature of all living beings, especially humans, suggests that behind this facade of the body identity, which is essentially an identity based on name and form, is a false identity. My true reality is that power, that energy, that self-effulgent witnessing consciousness ever present within each and every living being, that witnessing consciousness, self-illumined, self-revealed, self-existing light of pure consciousness is my true nature, my true identity. Each and every experience of mine is being illumined neither by body, nor by senses, nor by mind and intellect. These are all insentient, inert entities. They have no life of their own. The mind, body, intellect and senses, all of them are made alive and functioning through the light of consciousness, which is non-dual. It's one indivisible, eternal, immortal reality behind this visible, phenomenal world of duality. And that is my true identity. My true identity as self, variously known as witnessing consciousness, pure awareness, pure intelligence, is of the nature of bliss consciousness, loving awareness, and its almighty, omnipotent, omniscient, and omnipresent reality. That I am and that you are. Essentially, this ego and mind-based body identity is the root of all our sorrows and sufferings. All our efforts to end suffering in the life would prove fruitless, useless, as long as we continue to believe that this body and its affiliates are our true identity. We have identified ourselves as body simply because of our ignorance about our true nature, ignorance about our core of the core existence. Within this body itself, that supreme reality known as self or supreme self, or also known as Brahman or God, that is my true reality. That is my ultimate nature. As self is nothing but ever present energy filled of pure awareness. That awareness which is facilitating and enabling every single experience of mine, good, bad, ugly, whatever kind of experiences I am undergoing, these are being illumined, revealed, and enabled by that ever-present pure intelligence within my heart. It's an ever-existing reality. Due to our ignorance, what Vedanta calls beginningless ignorance, we continue to suffer because of our false identity, the body-based identity of ours. So, if we really want to transcend the realm of sorrows and sufferings, there is no way out other than transcending our body identity. Transcendence of body identity implies transcendence of the realm of mind and thoughts. You have identified yourself with this conditioned, finite, mortal body, and the mind is ever reoccupied on the fantasies, imaginations, and memories of the past and imaginations of the future. The mind is projecting an illusory identity of ours. Every moment, through every single thought of ours, we continue to confirm and reiterate our false identity based on the body. So if you want to transcend the ego-based, mind-based, body-based, this gross identity, the only thing you have to do is not to destroy this body. Transcendence of body and mind doesn't imply killing of this body or destroying the thoughts as such. The entire ignorance of ours is made possible because of the compulsive chain of thoughts which are ever busy in projecting a dream. As long as the compulsive chain of thoughts continues to occupy our mind, mind is very happy, ego is very pleased with that false identity, and it continues to keep us in bondage of the thoughts. The bondage that has enchained us and made us conditioned, mortal, finite and miserable is not some chain of iron or gold or other metal, but chain of compulsive thoughts. We have come to believe that, oh, I am this body, this is my name. And the mind is preoccupied, busy in projecting this self-identity. So, if you want to know your true nature, You just have to do a very simple thing. The ignorant state of ours, the ego-based, thought-propelled identity of ours is always busy with objective world. Mind always goes outward in the external world, in the objective world, that is called objective consciousness. This gross objective world is the content of the container called pure awareness. As long as this illusory objective world continues to be content of our thoughts and minds, there is no possibility of realization of our true nature. So, how to break free from this chain of incessant preoccupation of the mind with the objective world, external world, sensory perception, the desire for sensual enjoyment, because the mind is able to identify nothing but the objective world. The mind always travels through the crutches of the five senses. It jumps from one sense object to another sense object to another sense objects. The moment you break free, the process of mind being ever occupied with the external world, the objective world, by taking a U-turn and at 180 degrees, where you direct the mind to look within. That is U-turn. So far the mind has been looking beyond, looking towards the external world. And that is what has made us believe that we are this body and this external world that is perishable, mortal, is the real existence. So to break free from this beginningless ignorance, just take a U-turn and begin to look within. What is the meaning of looking within? For the beginners, it appears as a rigmarole, a puzzle. But it's very simple. What is there within? Once you look within, you would realize that if you are consciously avoiding being preoccupied with the gross material objective world and its objects, which have a name and a form, and go within, there is no form, there is no name, there is no object. It's pure void. To begin with, it appears as a pure void or darkness or emptiness. In the beginning, it appears as an emptiness, a void, as nothingness. But if you begin the journey with some sincerity, and if you are able to slowly and slowly dissociate yourself, disidentify yourself from the objective world, the world of names and forms, and begin to identify yourself with the light of consciousness within. The light of consciousness within, that facilitates and enables all my experiences of the objective world, that if you begin to be conscious of that consciousness, to put simply, if you begin to see the seer, so far you have been seeing the seed. The seer is within. Every single experience of yours and mine is being enabled by the seer, the experiencer, the knower. So the knower is within, the object of knowledge is outside. The seer is within, the seen is outside. But once the seer begins to not see any external object, but to seer himself or herself, if the perceiver stops perceiving the objective world and begins to perceive the formless, nameless, the light of consciousness within, that leads to immediate dissolution of the mind and compulsive chain of thoughts that breaks free the self, which through ignorance has assumed himself or herself, or superimposed a false identity driven by ego and mind, now all of a sudden begins to realize its reality, its background, its source, substance and substratum as nothing but pure awareness. And that's an eternal reality. Pure awareness was never born. The pure awareness right now that is present within me, that is enabling my every single experience, was never born. It will never die. It's immortal, indestructible reality. So, to break free from this long bondage of superimposition of the beliefs, false beliefs, that I am this mortal body, I am this mind or intellect or senses, you just have to take a turn from always traveling in the external world to look within yourself, where you find an infinite energy field of pure awareness. That is your true nature. It's ever blissful. The bliss and love present there is unconditioned, absolute. Love and bliss is your intrinsic nature as self, as pure awareness. I am an infinite mass of love, an eternal ocean of ecstatic bliss. That is my nature. The entire love, bliss and beauty that appears to be momentarily available in the objects and persons of the senses, external objective world, are being illumined and derive their love, bliss and beauty from my own true reality, that's the pure awareness. My pre-awareness nature, the pure awareness by nature is blissful, unconditional bliss, absolute love, unconditional love, everlasting beauty is its nature. And I am that. I have imposed on myself the false limitations because of my identification with the body, mind, and intellect. So, ultimate freedom and cessation of all sorrows and sufferings is possible in this life itself, not after death. In this life itself, by firm rejection of this false identity that is based on ego, mind, thoughts, and reaffirmation, re-identification of our true nature as self, infinite energy filled of awareness, which is non-dual reality, which is indivisible, omnipotent and almighty reality. That I am, that is my true nature, and in that identity of mine, I was never born, I will never die, I am beyond all decay and transformation. I am source, substratum of all, and none is my source. I am cause of all, but I am causeless. The entire universe exists because of me, but I am self-existing reality as self. That is what Adi Shankara calls Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. The entire Vedantic meditation, profound meditation, implies just negation of this false identity and re-identification and reaffirmation of our true identity. I'll recite those Sanskrit verses which tells us that we are not made of this gross mind, body, intellect and senses, or these 5 basic elements. We are eternal Shiva of the nature of. Shiva is eternal truth, not the deity or God in that sense. The eternal reality of the nature of bliss and consciousness. I will end this short discourse by reciting Nirvana Shatakam of Jagat Guru Adi Shankaracharya, which is the quintessence of Advaita Vedanta, which tells us as to what I am not and what I am. Let me recite that, and thereby I will conclude. And a regular practice of this insight makes us free, makes us realize our bliss consciousness, infinite reality. The life becomes glorious. Every moment of ours becomes ecstatic, meaningful. So let me recite those sentences. Manobodhyahankara chitani naham nacha shrotra jihave nacha dhara netre nacha vyoma bhumir na tejo na vayuhu chidananda rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. Nami prana sanyo navai panchavayuhu nava sapta dhatur nava panchakoshaha Navatpani padau na चोपस्थपायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मे रागद्वेषौ न मे लोभमोहौ मदो नैव मे नैव मात्सर्यभावः न धर्मो न चार्थो न कामो न मोक्षः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न पुण्यं न पापं न सौख्यं न दुःखं न मन्त्रो न तीर्था न वेदा न यज्ञा अहं भोजनं नैव भोज्यं न भोक्ता चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न मृत्युर्न शङ्का न मे जातिभेदः पिता नैव मे नैव माता न जन्म न बन्धुर्न मित्रं गुरुर्नैव शिष्यः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् अहं निर्विकल्पो निराकाररूपो विभुत्वाच्च सर्वत्र सर्वेन्द्रियाणाम् न चासङ्गतं नैव मुक्तिर्न मेयः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् I am not this body, I am not mind, I am not senses, nor I am organs of action, nor I am mind, body, intellect. I am not the five basic elements. I am not bondage, I am not liberation. I am nothing but pure consciousness, bliss consciousness, that eternal reality, the Shiva, eternal truth, eternal existence, Shiva, who is of the nature of bliss consciousness. That is my true nature, that I am. Chidanandarupaha Shivoham Shivoham. I am eternal reality of the nature of bliss consciousness. I am non-dual, one, indivisible, all-powerful, omnipotent, omniscient reality. All bliss, beauty and love is intrinsic to me. I am whole of the whole, full of the full. I lack nothing, I need nothing, because I am all of all. I am self of all, one non-dual as self of all, one witnessing consciousness, pure awareness. That is my nature. That is my nature. That I am. चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं नमस्ते